Kilroy was here, just as sure as I'm a-talkin'. Kilroy was here, walking right where I've been walking. Seems like to me everywhere I go, I just barely missed him, now where did he go? Kilroy was here, standing on this terra firma. Kilroy was here, flew a bomber in from Burma. He's been in Paris and Tokyo, Amarillo, Texas.
In October 1945, the Saturday Evening Post published an editorial prefaced by an illustration of service personnel musing over signs that read, "Kilroy was here," posted on palm trees in a military theater of World War II. Hundreds of sightings reported variations of this sign, but little evidence exists of the actual artifact. Images of the original graffiti are rare, as it was understandably uncommon for service personnel to carry cameras with them during the war. What we do have, however, is the question, who is Kilroy? And the narratives that attempted to answer it. Here, I share my own research into an ongoing collaborative project with my colleague, Dr. Elizabeth Pass, tracing and mapping origin stories and sightings of the World War II graffiti "Kilroy was here." Elizabeth is separately presenting her own flash video talk on mapping the discourse and sightings. Hers is titled "Mapping Kilroy Was Here: Choosing Front-End and Back-End Image Management Systems." We are responding to the conference's call, in part focusing on place, the where and how of transmission, situatedness, and reception of the image. In the case of Kilroy Was Here graffiti, there are very few extant artifacts of the image itself. The text, those 3 words, appeared first as far as we know. Soon after, though, the iconic image appeared with them, a bald head and long nose peeking over a wall. The image circulated from another called SMO. What I'm exploring is this kind of circulation of image and text, making their way through the jungles, islands, and beaches of the Second World War to American shop windows, high school blackboards, and notes of burglars left behind and then celebrated through popular culture. Through this circulation, we see the evolution of a graffiti narrative ontology, not of the graffiti itself. The lack of original images during World War II is supplanted by the moniker's discourse through such texts as news reports about sightings, advertising that featured the phrase "Kilroy was here," songs that celebrated its writer, and comic strips that satirized him. The circulation and intertextuality of the narratives arguably engendered the Kilroy Was Here movement not as an image, but as a symbol of American idealism and ruggedness. In response to the conference's focus, then, my research seeks to resituate a visual image as a thing of narrative, not of the visual. My own research so far has scoured approximately 1,000 newspaper articles from July 1945 to December 1946, revealing an interesting evolution, an early analog meme that cannot simply answer the Saturday Evening Post's original question, who is Kilroy? In early accounts, Kilroy Was Here began to represent the every soldier, a single dog face who had always shown up before others, leaving his mark. Other soldiers left the same mark seemingly everywhere they went, to show that the U.S. had been there, to taunt the enemy, to show a collective fight through the lonely and ephemeral Kilroy. For Kilroy was indeed fleeting, never to be found. This ephemerality made its way back to the U.S. as, for example, holiday pranks, with kids marking Kilroy Was Here in soap on shop windows. Thieves would break open shop cash boxes, pinch the till, and leave a note, "Kilroy was here." Advertisers warned consumers that their stores were low on products because Kilroy had already been there, so they too better get there quick. The ethos of Kilroy transformed from the character of the every soldier to that of every man. And I use man intentionally because Kilroy was indeed a man, and there are some society pages that do discuss the gendering of Kilroy. Kilroy began to represent anyone who failed to show up, anyone who failed to show his face, anyone who failed to own up to responsibility. A far cry from its original intent, engendering communities of soldiers off to war. The meaning of Kilroy was here has always been as ephemeral as the mark itself. All in all, my research is not trying to capture the lore of Kilroy, it's simply watching it run loose.